I was recently speaking to a group of entrepreneurs, and it's about 15 in the room. We did it by Zoom, and there was one woman, and I was there to speak about communication because my book on listening did pretty well around the world. It became the top book on listening in the world. I spoke with a Nobel Prize winner in Moscow, a guy named Daniel Kahneman. He wrote a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. That's what they teed me up to be, talk about communication to entrepreneurs. But I listened into the meeting before the break, before I was about to speak. And as I listened in, I thought, they don't care about communication. They don't care about listening. Like on a good day, I can be engaging. I've got some interesting stories, hostage negotiation, suicide, so I can grab people's attention. But I thought what they're really struck by was Jennifer. And Jennifer was this amazing young entrepreneur. And I could tell they all looked up to her, and I looked up to her. And so before the break, I said, okay, we're going on break. Then it's me afterwards. Here's the choice. We can talk about communication after the break, and I'll tell you how to become a better listener. But most of you are entrepreneurs. You don't really like to listen. You assign your people issues to someone else because God love them. People are messy. Mm-hmm. They're just not that clear. Mm-hmm. And so you like vision and strategy. The problem is a bottleneck with execution because you got to do it through people until you replace them all. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you a choice. We can talk about communication. I'll give you some tips, or I can tell you how to think like Jennifer, Elon Musk, and Steve Jobs. So let's go on break, and when we come back, tell me what you want. So you can guess what they wanted.
With that lead up, of course.
When the break was over, they said, we want to think like Jennifer. And meanwhile, Jennifer is looking at me like, who is this crazy guy? And I'll say, here's the difference between Jennifer and the rest of you. She sees the unknown as an adventure to be lived. Mm. The rest of you see the unknown as a danger to be avoided. And the reason she sees the unknown as an adventure to be lived is because that's all she's been all her life. And she believes that if she just goes out there, things, opportunities, dots to connect will reveal themselves to her because they always have. I said, isn't that true, Jennifer? And she looked at me and she said, how did you know these things? I said, is it true? She said, it's absolutely true. And then she texted me and she said, you're going to coach me. Mm. So I'm coaching Jennifer. And in a couple months we've been working together. So she has a home care company, one of the top home care companies. So in the couple of months we've been working together, she bought a nursing school. Mm. She started a company called IV at Your Door, because when you go into some of these home care facilities, they're not allowed to have IVs on their patients. And with all of this COVID, it's a real struggle to take an elderly patient, take them to the emergency room. So she's created a whole business called IV at Your Door, where she takes vans and she brings them IVs. And but I wanted to share that with you because there's a lot to be learned. And that's how, by the way, Elon Musk and Steve Jobs look at the world. Mm. They have a quality that I learned from a mentor of mine. All of you are too young to know the name Warren Bennis. If you look him up, he's one of the top 5 people who ever lived. And he's a thought leader in leadership, and he died a bunch of years ago. Yeah. And he had this great quote that he often told me that came from a playwright named Saul Bellow. And the quote was, be a first-class noticer. Be a first-class noticer. Because noticing is different than looking, watching, or seeing. When you look, watch, or see, you're an observer. But when you notice, you just tune into it. Like I'm noticing that I'm looking into this camera lens. I'm not quite seeing CK, but I'm looking into the lens to see all of you.